Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Vyasadeva said, on hearing Suta Goswami speak thus, Shaunak Muni, who was the elderly learned leader of all the rishis engaged in that prolonged sacrificial ceremony, congratulated Suta Goswami by addressing him as follows. Purport: in a meeting of learned men, when there are congratulations or speaker, the qualifications of the congratulator should be as follows. He must be the leader of the house and an elderly man. He must be vastly learned also. Sri Shaunak Rishi had all these qualifications, and thus he stood up to congratulate Sri Suta Goswami when he expressed his desire to present Srimad Bhagavatam exactly as he had heard it from Shukadev Goswami and also realized it personally. It does not mean that one should, out of vanity, attempt to show one's learning by trying to surpass the previous Acharya. He must have full confidence in the previous Acharya, and at the same time he must realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. The original purpose of the text must be maintained. No obscure meaning should be screwed out of it, yet it should be presented in an interesting manner for the understanding of the audience. This is called realization. The leader of the assembly, Shaunak, could estimate the value of the speaker, Sri Suta Goswami, simply by his uttering Yatha Ditam and Yatha Mati, and therefore he was very glad to congratulate him in ecstasy. No learned man should be willing to hear a person who does not represent the original Acharya. So the speaker and the audience were bona fide in this meeting where Bhagavatam was being recited for the second time. That should be the standard of recitation for Bhagavatam, so that real purpose can be served without difficulty. Unless this situation is created, Bhagavatam recitation for extraneous purposes is useless labor, both for the speaker and for the audience. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasini Gauravaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Translation again. Vyasadeva said, on hearing Suta Goswami speak thus, Shaunak Muni, who was the elderly learned leader of all the rishis engaged in that prolonged sacrificial ceremony, congratulated Suta Goswami by addressing him as follows. So this is beginning of chapter 4. The title is The Appearance of Sri Narad. Narad Muni appears. The verse before this, Suta Goswami, after he heard the questions by the sages, he said, I'll speak Yathaditam Yathamatihi. I will try to make you hear the very same thing I learned as far as I have realized it. Matihi. As far as I have realized the teaching, that much I'll speak. So now in this, because Vyasadeva is narrating, here he's saying that Suta Goswami, after having spoken that, Shaunak Muni, who was the leader, he was congratulating him, he was happy. In the purport, Prabhupada is speaking about realization of Vedic knowledge. So we have to understand the Vedas. Vedas, these are not books like we see books in the library, in the shop. Actually, Veda is sound, which is captured in that. Not also normal sound, because it's called Shabda Brahma, spiritual sound, vibration. It is not of this plane, not of this material world. So this sound has to be communicated properly. It was spoken originally by Krishna to Brahma. He gave the sound, that proper sound has to come. But within the Vedas, it's giving us that how this sound should be propagated. That the person who going to communicate Veda. He should have heard from someone who heard from someone who heard from someone who finally, till it's starting from Krishna. Otherwise you cannot propagate Veda. You cannot propagate the transcendental sound. It will be a mundane material sound, won't be transcendental. So the Vedas are sound captured now, because Vyasadeva wrote it at the beginning of Kali Yuga. He wrote it down because he understood that in Kali Yuga we will not be able to follow the traditional method, which is that the Veda is known as Shruti because it's received through Shrota Madhyama. Through the medium of sound, it's spoken, and that's how we get the Vedas. In the Gurukul, they'll all sit, and then the teacher will, first they'll memorize the whole Veda. You know, now we're having problem one verse memorizing. They'll memorize the whole Veda. And there were 2 Vedas, Dvivedi, or 3 Vedas, Trivedi, 4 Vedas, Chaturvedis. They will memorize everything. And then later they'll explain the meaning of that. So that was communicated in that way. So the sound, later Vyasadeva put it down in writing because he knew that we cannot hear, will not be able to memorize it. We are Kali Yuga Jivas. We are not following proper regulated life. We are not pious. People who are pious, they have good brain, good health and everything. But especially as we go later in age, that people who are less pious will age fast and get disease and all that. And that is all of us, by the way. We are all in that category. We are Kali Yuga Jivas. And so Vyasadeva put it down in text. He communicated the transcendental sound in the text. So this is the Vedas. And he gave it, and now how, as it's saying here, how it should be propagated. That the original message of the Veda is propagated. For example, someone is saying something to him, he's saying to them, he's saying, and then I'm getting the message. I should get the original message. Even before that, people are trained in Vedic culture that, especially those who are sitting to learn Veda, that the Guru will say something, and then he'll say, what did Guru say? He said that. No, he didn't say that. Something was off. You didn't listen properly. You had to hear properly. Properly we had to hear. Then we can speak. We have to hear properly. So this is important of the parampara. Importance is that knowledge which was propagated in a different time and place can be available to us if there's a parampara. Parampara is in the Vedic culture and religious system, but it's not in others. For example, I just did research and I found, for example, that the knowledge of the Bible, they have some kind of parampara. I think it starts with Adam or David. David is first. Or Adam, I can't remember. Comes. But within the Bible, the parampara is given differently. That it's this, then it's this. I was just researching contradictions in the Bible. That's available. I'm not saying anything new. If you just Google, people have found out that there are many contradictions. Now, why are they? I don't want to. People can study and see, and what to do about it, they should see that also. But the point is that if there is no parampara, then we cannot really get knowledge. Over a long period of time in this material world, the nature's things deteriorate. Everything deteriorates. You know, we have a door. One day the door will break, it will rot, or termites will attack, it will go. This house, one banyan tree will grow and take over everything. Or it will be broken, or it will need repair. Material world deteriorates everything. And so knowledge will deteriorate. And so we need a system. And the perfect system is this parampara, Shrota parampara. Knowledge is coming down in that way. But how are we going to present the knowledge? Because the knowledge that was given to Brahma is not the same that we are learning. It's not the same. It's not, I want to say, it's not the same presentation. Knowledge is same, but the presentation was different. It was only in 4 verses. Then it came down, and now we have this Veda. The knowledge, in order to be understood and propagated, should be realized. We should realize the knowledge. Realization. This is a word which is in the Vedic system, but I have not seen it in other systems of religion who are propagating that the knowledge has to be realized. Realizing the knowledge It's that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, idam te guhyatamam pravakshami nasuyave jnana vijnana sahitam, that I'll give you knowledge and realization. Okay, that realization, this is what we are speaking about. That we should realize the knowledge. Here in the purport it's explained that personal realization, when we say we are realizing the text, someone will speak, this is what I understood, this is my understanding, my realization. But that does not mean that one has to show knowledge different than the previous acharyas. Something more, he didn't know, I am speaking something more than that. I got some better presentation. And here it's saying, no, you cannot, don't attempt to show one's learning trying to surpass the previous acharyas. Or automatically you can understand this person cannot communicate anything. Because the mercy and knowledge comes through parampara. Now you are trying to overcome, that means you'll not get anything. You'll not understand anything. So, he must have full confidence in previous acharyas. And at the same time, he must realize the subject matter. So now this is realization. Realization means I hear, but I should hear and I should understand it very clearly so that I can present it. I may present it in a different way, but same knowledge. And then you can understand, someone realize. When he can present it to so many different classes of people. For example, Srila Prabhupada, once he gave a class to kids in a school. He spoke to them. At that level he spoke. He was able to communicate. And many times he spoke to professors, scientists, and he presented the knowledge at that level. So in this way, he is able to present it. Why is that? Because he realized the message. Prabhupada, he was against what he called parrot-like chanting. Parrot-like. Like a parrot, you say something, he'll hear it. Parrot, if you put a parrot in the house, he'll start repeating what everyone says. But he doesn't really know what he doesn't care. Prabhupada explained, for example, like the chanting. Prabhupada explained, our chanting should be deep. We should chant and hear, understand. He said, don't be like the parrot, because even a parrot can chant, You put the parrot here. Hare Krishna, say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Then he can chant. A parrot can chant. But Prabhupada said, what will happen? The day the cat grabs the bird, will he chant Hare Krishna? No. Prabhupada said, he'll start chanting. So, our understanding of Shastra, our knowledge, our chanting should be deep, should be internalized, should be realized. Otherwise, at the crucial time, we cannot recall it. Also, realization means, what is the explanation? It's given here. That, as I mentioned, that the same knowledge should be understood from different angles of vision, as Prabhupada said. Krishna consciousness, we should understand it in such a way that it can be presented in any platform, social, political, religious, cultural, educational, any aspect, even political. We can present Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said that the Krishna consciousness can be applied in all spheres. We can speak to the government man, how you should rule according to Krishna consciousness. We should speak to the scientists that you're research God. Can you realize? Research how, I give this example many times, research how that the cow can eat grass and produce something called milk which has all the vitamins. But the vitamin is not in the grass. So where is it coming from? Study that. It will be difficult for them. So they have to realize God according to their science. So when we say realization, it means we have to internalize the teaching. I took the knowledge of Gita and Bhagavatam, it's become part of my character, it's become part of my vision, my outlook. Now I am seeing this world not how what I learn in school, because in school what are they teaching? That is not Shastric. Someone had given an opinion, how mountains, how they are formed or they are not formed, And then when they come across statement like in Shastra that before mountains were flying, now they are not because Indra cut their wings. How is that possible? They will not be able to take it. So realization means that we have to take the knowledge and it should become part of our intelligence and ultimately part of our consciousness. What is consciousness? Consciousness is me, I. What am I? If I'm not realized, I am this body. I am Bengali. I am man, woman, cat, dog. That's who I am. I am the master enjoyer. But actually, I am a soul, eternal servant of Krishna. This is what we have to realize. We have to internalize Gita teachings and Bhagavatam in such a way that we are seeing through this. It's called Shastra Chakshu, vision through Shastra. In this way we realize, then we can benefit. So now we see that actually the realization is highly valued in civilized society, of which our current civilization is not really in that category. Civilized society is a society based on self-realization. The education system, political system, everything is based on self-realization. Knowledge means realized, or knowing how to advance and the process. So that kind of society, they will value realization of somebody. They will value and place importance. But it's not like now when I heard the third Prime Minister of India, when they were taking the census, they put beggars and sadhus in one category. Who cares about them? They don't have any contribution to society. Sadhus. Beggars, yeah, not sadhus. So they could not see that. They didn't understand what will they do, because we want to advance and become an economic powerhouse and industrial superpower, India. And what will sadhus do? So actually, sadhus, of which we are not sadhus. Sadhus means, who's trying, fully learned and educated in Shastra. We aspire to be. So these personalities can save us from birth and death, and they can tell us who is God, and they can tell us who we are. So that knowledge is valued in society. And in a civilized society, these people are given importance. Not like now, someone has PhD but doesn't have a clue what's going on in this world. What is the reality? Or someone has a lot of money, or knowledge of some machine or computer. They're valued, but that will not help really. So the realization is valued in these societies, and people want to hear from them. What is realization? How to get that realization? First we have to get knowledge. I have to read Bhagavad Gita, I have to read Srimad Bhagavatam, get that knowledge. Realization means that I'm getting that knowledge, at the same time I'm practicing bhakti and serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Action in knowledge gives realization. I'm performing the process of bhakti with knowledge of bhakti. The knowledge. Bhakta Shruta Grihitaya. It says in Bhagavatam. Tat Shradadhana Munayo Bhakta Jnana Vairagya Pashanti Atmani Atmanam Bhakta Shruta Grihitaya. The person, the self-realized soul, wants to endeavor in bhakti. He performs bhakti Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya, properly equipped with knowledge. Jnana and Vairagya, and detachment from this material world. Okay, and then bhakti cannot be performed that not having knowledge. We have to get that knowledge first of all. What is bhakti, and what is the process, and how we do it. So the person should be equipped with this knowledge, Bhakta Shruta Grihitaya, and they are Bhakti Shastras, like Vedas, which tell us about bhakti. So he should be having that knowledge, and he should be detached. Detached in the sense that, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that Bhogaishwarya Prasaktanam Dayaparta Chetasam, somebody who is very much bewildered or attached to bhoga, sense enjoyment, bhoga, and aishwarya, and opulence. then he says, Pasaktam tayapata chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhana vidyate. This person cannot really focus his mind on spiritual advancement. So in that way, we have to be detached and we should have knowledge. And then we practice the process of bhakti, devotional service, and we get realization. But as the Shastra says, there is a very, we say shortcut. That's understatement. There's a very, very short cut to the process of self-realization. That is by serving someone who's already self-realized. Somebody who has realization, and we serve them, we get the realization they have. And therefore in society, these people who were self-realized, they were greatly valued and honored and respected. In this assembly, now, Sutta Goswami was seated and Shaunak Rishi was representing all the rishis, the head. And so they were very much anxious to hear from Sutta Goswami. That you were seated there when Bhagavatam was spoken, so we want to hear from you. We want to hear what you heard. The leader of the assembly congratulated Sutta Goswami. He was very happy. So the knowledge Sutta Goswami had was Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam means knowledge in relation to Bhagavan. All knowledge related to Bhagavan. The personality, his avatars, his devotees, his energies by which he's controlling this world, his creations, everything about Bhagavan. So Bhagavatam, this is Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is explained in the introduction of Srila Prabhupada. The knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam, he said, is a cultural presentation for the re-spiritualization of society. Currently, society is not as it was before. Previously, the purpose of human society was self-realization. Now it's material civilization, material advancement, which makes no sense because let me advance, let me accumulate material things and get material wealth. And then as Prabhupada said, but do you know what is your next birth? What is the value? If I accumulate all these things and I'm keeping a good reputation in society, everything, then I take birth as a cat in the next life. What is the benefit of that? I should get the proper goal, what it is. So in the present, the human society, as Prabhupada said, is in a suicide course because everyone wants to be enjoyer. Definitely there'll be a clash. I want the oil, no, I want it. Then they'll fight. Nuclear bombs, weapons, war in society. So society has now cat and dog society, not human level. Srimad Bhagavatam has been composed and presented, especially with the commentary of Prabhupada, to re-spiritualize society. So as Prabhupada said, it's a cultural presentation. How can you change a whole society at once? One way is through war. You by force come in and take the gun or the sword and tell people, okay, change your religion, change your culture. But that kind of change, first of all, it's not permanent. It can change. And this way people change so many things. It's temporary. Also, it's not really solving the problem. People think we have a problem in society. So the solution can be through this political system or through communism or through Marxism, Naxalism, or this mundane religious understanding, mundane religious idea. That will not solve the problem. Because the people who are changing it, who want to, themselves are in Maya. Themselves, they cannot understand the truth. So Prahlad Maharaj says, Andayatha inder upaniyamanina, that the people, they took shelter of who they call leaders, and the leaders themselves are blind. They can't understand, I am a soul, servant of God, I have no birth and death, and the goal of life is self-realization. So everyone took shelter of them, and they are trying to change the society, sometimes by force, what they think will help. It won't help. What we need is the knowledge which is not from this world. It is from a source which is perfect, apauroshaya, not composed by a man. Bhagavad Puran is spiritual, transcendental. Is the door closed? Veranda. Monkey. So Bhagavatam is spiritual. Therefore, it has the potency to change the society. Because it is not of this world, it is of spiritual, that means it's perfect. It's perfect. It can remove all inebriety or material imperfections in society. So Bhagavatam, how do you change a society? A whole society. How do you change it? By, as Bhagavatam says, presenting a systematic presentation of the science of God presented in society, and the worldwide society formed for preaching it and presenting it, distributing the knowledge. This is how we can change society. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. This Bhagavad Puran is meant for, especially now in Kali Yuga, people who are completely in darkness. They can't understand anything. And they're addicted to sense enjoyment of this material world. But even if they taste a little bit of this knowledge and experience, they can change. So we need a proper presentation of at once all of this knowledge. This is Bhagavatam. Complete science of God is contained, and by which we can change everyone. So those who seek to change, and we should all seek to change our consciousness. Our consciousness now is material. That is the cause of our bondage in this material world. Our consciousness is making us bound. Because in our mind, there are desires. As long as we have desires, or actually forget the desire, the point is consciousness. I am enjoyer. I am the enjoyer. This is karmatmakam, it's called, where our mind is colored with fruitive activity. Karmatmakam yana sharira baddha. This is causing the body, us to take a body again and again. So, one had to change their consciousness. And this change will come first from understanding what is the problem. What is the problem? The problem is that I think I am in the enjoyer, but I am not the enjoyer. And the problem is I am thinking I am the body. This is called dehatma buddhi, body consciousness. And then we're acting on level of the body, satisfying the body, dehatma buddhi. So one with a deeper realization, he's able to see deeper. We are not able to see. We should take shelter of someone who can see, who has vision to see, and tell us. Just like a person who cannot see, he'll be telling someone, what does this say? What is this? How does this look? We have these eyes, but we cannot really see. We can't understand. We are blind to knowledge of self-realization. In that opening verse of Bhagavad Gita in the purport, Prabhupada writes about Dhritarashtra. He spoke that first verse. Prabhupada says that Dhritarashtra was blind, but unfortunately he was also blind to the science of self-realization. We are blind to that knowledge. We cannot see the reality. So we have to take shelter of someone who can see. Now even we have Srimad Bhagavatam, but we have to see it properly. No? Therefore, Srila Prabhupada has written the commentary. Now we are seeing the verses of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita through Srila Prabhupada. And as Prabhupada said, now in Kali Yuga, my purports are more important than the verse. Because my purports will reveal the knowledge. And if we just get Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, we will not understand. As many people say, I am reading Bhagavad Gita, I can't understand anything. You have to read, but I cannot understand it. So, through the self-realized soul, we will get knowledge. Krishna ordered Arjuna that we have to approach a self-realized person, pranipatena, pariprashnena, sevaya. Then, upadikshanti te jnanam. Upadikshanti. What is the translation of that word? Diksha. Diksha? Initiate means? Initiate, beginning. Begin. Initiate. Begin. Initiate the legal proceedings. Begin. So, upadikshanti te jnanam. There it says that because Diksha means now knowledge is beginning to be revealed to you. Now we'll get the knowledge. Starting. Yeah. So Upadikshanti means he will initiate you into knowledge. He will initiate you. The self-realized soul. So we have to take shelter of the self-realized soul. Now, therefore we take shelter of Srila Prabhupada, or his bona fide representative, who reveals Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam knowledge. Otherwise, on our own we cannot see. So, Upadikshanti te jnanam. If people are blind and you are showing them something they cannot see. Therefore, we are blind, even we open the Vedas, we cannot see. So, how to see? The Acharyas teach us which Veda to read, how to read, everything very clearly. So, if we take shelter of an Acharya, then we fully take shelter. This is parampara. Maybe in the beginning, we are not fully, we are still checking, experimenting. But at some point, we have to choose an Acharya and take shelter. And then accept all the principles. Then we get the full mercy. The full mercy of that. In this assembly, when Suta Goswami was asked the questions, after which he's going to speak Bhagavatam, because these rishis had gathered, they want to know in Kali Yuga, what shall we read, what shall we do, what is the proper thing, situation. So then Suta Goswami said, yes, I was present in that assembly and I heard Shukadev Goswami speak. I heard the Bhagavatam. Then he said, I am going to now present that to you, yatha ditam yatha mati, in the previous verse. And that means, according to as far as my realization. He heard Bhagavatam, but he understood that what I understood, only up to that point I can speak. What does this mean? That means he was humble. He understood that I am just a jiva. Whatever was revealed to me, I'll speak that. So, according to my qualification, so much was revealed. If someone is very advanced, very qualified, much more is revealed to them, isn't it? They are relishing Shastra, they are reading Gita, another one cannot understand. I cannot understand, I'm not reading. Read one verse a day. Okay. Did you read today? No. Yesterday? No. Try. Okay. This is not getting revealed. Revelation. You know. Actually, we were all in that stage, and myself also. Then, by mercy of devotees and the process of bhakti and Krishna, then it's revealed. Then we go, oh, wow, what amazing, you know. And then they have to tell, well, stop reading, don't read. Then they tell you at home, why are you reading this book? Can you do something else? Then it's opposite. So, the revelation has to come. Suta Goswami, when he spoke this, it's mentioned here that Shonak Rishi, who was the head of the rishis, he congratulated him. It says here, he congratulated Suta Goswami. He was very happy. Sangstuya means he congratulated, glorified him. Why? Why did he congratulate him? Who can say? It says in the purport.
Hearing him say yatha dhitam and yatha mati.
Yes.
That is the right person.
Yes. He congratulated him because he saw that Shonak Rishi, he was revealing that I am not greater than Shukadev. I am the follower. Shukadev Goswami spoke to me, and how much I realize I will speak that. Not that I am new Acharya, I'm going to speak, and I'll not look at the Vedas, I'll not quote anything, I'll not look at Acharyas, I'm just going to speak because whatever in my mind will speak. Yeah, but as Prabhupada said, nowadays everyone's mind is full of cow dung. What will they speak? We don't want to hear the mind. Our mind is full of guna. We want to hear what the Acharyas are saying. So somebody who communicates and quotes from Shastra, we congratulate. So here, he says that he got up and the rishis were in full confidence that he could reveal the subject matter so nicely and present it. So therefore, they were very happy. So the leader of the assembly, Shonak Rishi, could estimate the value of the speaker. That this person, he has said, according to my realization, he's going to speak. Not beyond the realization. So according to that, Sutta Goswami, simply by uttering Yathaditam and Yathamati, he was very glad to congratulate him in ecstasy. He was in ecstasy, very happy that he qualified. Now he'll deliver what Shukadev Goswami said without any adulteration. Then Prabhupada says, no learned man should be willing to hear a person who does not represent the original Acharya. A learned person, learned means not with PhD or MS, that's not learning. Learning means understanding what is matter, what is spirit, what is Atma, what is De, body, soul. Understanding the reality, Atma Tattvam, spiritual science. The person who is educated, he'll understand. I should not hear from someone who is not speaking, who is not representing the Acharya. Because the science will not work. The Veda will not be propagated. Some sound will come out, but I will not get that knowledge. And in this presentation, in this assembly, the speaker and audience were both bona fide, pramanik. Both of them were qualified. The speaker knew what to speak, the hearer knew that he's a good speaker, let's hear from him properly. And that should be the standard of recitation of Bhagavatam. In that situation, the real purpose can be served. That means that we can be awakened to realization of God. Upadikshanti te jnanam, that the speaker can initiate us into knowledge of God and reveal to us the truth, param satyam, the absolute truth. Unless this situation is created, Bhagavatam recitation is a useless labor. Many people gather to speak and others gather to hear him, Gita, Bhagavatam, but who's speaking? We have to see, we have to know. In this situation, it was perfect, and so Bhagavatam was spoken. And Bhagavatam we received through Sutta Goswami is changing so many people. People have been awakened, whole countries and communities are changing now. It's going all over the world. And what is written in Bhagavatam, Viplava, revolution, prophecy being fulfilled, that the atheistic, godless civilization is gradually becoming spiritualized. Hare Krishna. Is there any question? Comment? Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.